Okay, we started.
Okay. It is 5 p.m. on June 29, 2022, and we will now begin this recorded public information meeting. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Florida Department of Transportation's public information meeting for the State Road 802, Lake Avenue, Lucerne Avenue in Lake Worth. I'm Julie Jimenez, and I'm the project manager for the Florida Department of Transportation, or FDOT. Next slide. Please allow me to introduce the team working on the project. Next slide. First, on the top left is myself, Julie Jimenez. As I mentioned, I'm the project manager for the project. With me here today is Marvin Joseph. He's a roadway designer, as well as Diego Quintero. And finally, also with me here is John Scarlatos. He's the public involvement support. At this time, we invite any elected officials that are attending to speak. Please select the raise the hand button to speak, and we will unmute you if you choose to. All right, I don't see anyone raising their hand, so we will continue. Next slide. We will start this meeting by briefly reviewing the public information meeting agenda. First, we're gonna go into the technical information, then the non-discrimination policy and rules of engagement. I'm gonna go over the project location and discuss the project scope. I'm gonna talk about the existing roadway and proposed improvements, then the temporary traffic control plan. Then we're gonna get into the project schedule and cost, then the questions and answers session, and finally the closing and contact information. Now I'm gonna turn it over to John Scarlatos to review our meeting format.
Thank you, Julie. So we're using the GoToMeeting platform for this meeting. The benefit of this is there's no cost to the public to log in or dial in to participate in this meeting. Public notice for this virtual public meeting, including information on how to access the meeting platform, was provided in letters to property owners and tenants in the project area, a posting in the Florida Administrative Register, and emails to persons on the project contact list, on social media feeds, and other notification methods. We will now take a moment to discuss the department's non-discrimination policy and rules of engagement. This public meeting was advertised and is being conducted in accordance with state and federal requirements, including Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Public participation is solicited without regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status. Persons wishing to express their concerns about Title VI may do so by contacting Sharon Singhagian, District 4 Title VI Coordinator, by mail at 3400 West Commercial Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33309, by phone at 954-777-4190, or email at sharon.singhagen@dot.state.fl.us. You may also contact Jacqueline Paramore, State Title VI Coordinator, by mail at 605 Suwannee Street, Mail Station 65, Tallahassee, Florida 32399-0450, by phone at 850-414-4753, or email at jaqueline@dot.state.fl.us. This virtual public meeting is being recorded. If you experience technical difficulties, please contact Louis Sicona at 813-535-8500 or itdebt@scalarinc.net so that a member of our technical support team may assist you. All attendees will remain muted throughout the meeting. Attendees are also welcome to submit any questions or comments using the GoToWebinar question panel at any time, and a member of the team will respond during the open discussion. If you are participating via telephone and have questions or comments, feel free to submit them to FDOT Project Manager Julie Jimenez, PE, after the meeting, and a response will be provided.
All right, now I will describe for you the project location and the overview. Next slide. This project is located in Lake Worth Beach. Shown in yellow and green are the project limits. Along Lake Avenue, or eastbound, the project goes from South B Street to east of Gulfstream Road. Along Lucerne Avenue, westbound, which is the yellow line, the project goes from North C Street to east of Gulfstream Road. Next slide. Here's the project overview. We will be milling and resurfacing the existing roadway within project limits. We will be reconstructing sidewalks and curb ramps as needed to meet ADA standards. Pedestrian signals and lighting will be upgraded at signalized intersections. And those signalized intersections are Lucerne Avenue at J Street, Lucerne Avenue at Federal Highway, Lake Avenue at K Street, and Lake Avenue at Federal Highway. Finally, signage and pavement markings will be upgraded along the project. The project length is 2.318 miles. Next slide. Now I'm going to go over the existing and proposed conditions of the roadway. Next slide. This is the existing roadway condition along Lake Avenue, is the roadway going east. This roadway consists of 2 travel lanes that are 11 foot wide each, parking on both sides, as well as sidewalks. The sidewalks vary anywhere from 8 foot to 27 foot. Next slide. And now this is the proposed condition for Lake Avenue. The roadway typical will remain the same. 2 lanes going east with parking and sidewalks on both sides. The only change will be the addition of sharrows along the outside travel lane. Sharrows are just pavement markings that allow bicyclists to take the lane. In other words, they're just pavement markings that will indicate to drivers that they should expect to share the lane with bicycles. That's the only change. Next slide. Now, this is the existing condition for Lucerne Avenue. Along Lucerne Avenue, or the westbound roadway, we have 2 travel lanes at 11 foot each. We also have parking and sidewalks on both sides. The sidewalks vary anywhere from 5 to 19 feet. Next slide. Now, this is the proposed condition for Lucerne Avenue. The roadway typical will remain almost the same. 2 lanes going west with parking and sidewalks on both sides. The only change will be that we will be taking 1 foot from one of the travel lanes to make the bike lane slightly wider. As you can see, the travel lanes will now be 11 and 10 feet wide, and the bike lane will now be 6 feet. Both parking and sidewalks will remain exactly the same. Next slide. Now we're gonna explain to you how we're gonna manage the traffic control plans during the construction. Next slide. Work will be done in phases to reduce the effects of construction in the community. Lane closures will be used during construction. 1 lane in each direction will always be open. Milling and resurfacing will be performed during the nighttime. Driveways and street access will be maintained throughout construction. Next slide. Now we're gonna talk about the project schedule and cost. Next slide. Right now, we are working towards finishing 90% plans that will be done by November of this year. And then in March of 2023, we will have 100% plans. The letting is July of 2023. We estimate that construction will start in the fall of 2023. We also estimate construction to be completed by winter of 2025. And as of today, the estimated construction cost is $5.25 million. Now I'm going to turn it over to John.
Thank you, Julie. We will now discuss how you may ask any questions. To provide a comment, please use the raise hand button on your GoToWebinar panel. Once your microphone is unmuted, please provide your full name first and then your comment. Your microphone will remain unmuted until the comment has been fully addressed. Attendees are also encouraged to submit questions or comments using the GoToWebinar question panel. If your question is not responded to during the event, a response will be provided in writing following the virtual meeting. We'll now go over the contact information for the project. We encourage your input and feedback about this project, and there are multiple ways for you to participate. All public comments and questions are part of the public meeting record, and every method for providing public comments and questions carries equal weight. While comments and questions will be accepted at any time, those submitted by July 9th, 10 days after the public meeting, will become part of the project's public meeting record. If your question was not responded to during the event, a response will be provided later. If you have additional comments or questions after the meeting, please contact the FDOT project manager, Julie Jimenez, by email at july.jimenez@dot.state.fl.us, by mail at 3400 West Commercial Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33309, or by telephone at 954-777-4415, or toll free at 866-336-8435, extension 4415. On behalf of the Florida Department of Transportation, thank you for attending this public meeting and providing your input on this project.
Hi, Julie. We have one question from Chris Davros. And that question is, why are the traffic signal mast arms at Dixie and Lake Lucerne not being replaced?
Yeah, that's they will be replaced under a project that is coming before us. That's a completely separate project, and it will happen and be finished actually before we start this construction. It was programmed like that under a separate project.
Sue, we've unmuted your mic, so you can go ahead and ask your question. Currently, you're being self-muted. We're just seeing if Sue could unmute her mic if she has a question to ask. Okay. I cannot hear you, Sue, but you're more than welcome to type your question. However, on our end, it does show that you are still self-muted.
Sue, please click on the microphone icon that it should appear red on your end. If you click on that, it should open your mic and it'll turn green. That would be located next to your name under the attendees panel. I see some of the questions. Yeah, they've been posted. So I think Sam Goodstein had a question here.
Yeah, Sue
will
was
we be-
the first. Go
Okay.
ahead, John. You can take Sam's question first.
Yeah, so the question is, will we be able to hear the in-person meeting succeeding this one? No, the other meeting is actually happening concurrent with this one. We have a couple of people that are here right now, but it officially will start at 6 o'clock. But it is set up as an open house format, so it is not a formal presentation such as this. It's for people to come in and get to ask questions about the project and give them some information as needed. The next question is, will the slides be available for the public? Yes, that will be posted on the project website for this project, which would be able to be found using the FDID number that was provided at the beginning of the presentation. The next question, I think this was just answered, right? Why are the traffic signal mast arms at Dixie and Lake Lucerne not being replaced, right? We discussed that one.
Yes, I did.
Yep, and then it says, is there a public hearing scheduled for the federal highway project?
There should be. I'm not the project manager for that project. However, we do hold public meetings for all of our projects. So if you have any questions specifically for that project manager, you're more than welcome to email me or give me a phone call and I can provide you with her contact information.
Thank you. The next question is there a plan in place for business deliveries, customer parking, transportation of customers to local businesses, handicap transport to businesses?
Well, yeah, the plan is to maintain access at all times, right? Obviously, under any construction project, there will be minor impacts. And for example, that's why we're doing the milling and resurfacing during the night. During the day, the construction team will be in contact with every business owner as they move along the project where they need to do sidewalk repairs or install any signal equipment or anything like that. Every single business owner will be contacted and be, they'll know when we're coming along they're around the area of their businesses. But in general, we plan on having all kinds of access at all time.
Thank you. The next question is, how can we get raised crossings, narrower lanes, speed humps, stop signs, etc., especially between the train station and Dixie Highway?
There's a lot on that question. The inclusion of raised crosswalks, it has many other impacts, right? It's not just adding the raised crosswalk. That would include drainage impacts usually, and that is not part of the scope. The lanes are already really narrow. I mean, there's one that's gonna go down to 10. That's the bare minimum we can do. It's a low speed road already. So yeah, no, the raised crosswalks are not part of the scope.
And we have one more here. Plans for downtime to outdoor seating for restaurants, loading zones. That's
I'm
all
sorry.
it says.
Can you read that again, John?
Yeah, it just says plans for downtime to outdoor seating for restaurants, loading zones. I'm not sure what the question is on that. Or I guess, are there plans for the downtown, is it supposed to be? It says downtime to outdoor seating for restaurants, loading
Well,
zones.
Remember, the work that we will be doing is within FDOT's right of way, right? The businesses have their outside seating area within their property, right? That's one of the main things to keep in mind. And another one is that, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, the construction team, because of the nature of the project, right? It's downtown. We know a lot of areas have a lot of pedestrians outside seating. The construction team will be tasked with contacting, let's say, per segment or per block that they will be working on. They will be working with all the business owners to let them know what we're doing, when we're doing it, what works best for them. So, I mean, are there going to be any impacts? Maybe, very small, very minor. We will be working with all the business owners to minimize those impacts.
Okay, and Sam, I see you have your hand raised. Give us one moment. We're going to go through these remaining ones, and then we're going to open the mic to you as well. So there was one question here. It just says stop signs, question mark. So I guess they're asking if there's going to be stop signs.
Julie,
Not sure I get that question, but we will.
Julie, that question was asked by Matthew in reference to the raised crossings, narrow lanes, speed humps, stop signs, etc. Maybe you could go back and visit the stop signs between the train station and Dixie. It sounds like, are there going to be stop signs there?
Oh, no, what we are adding is those signs that let the people know, warning signs that there might be a crosswalk or a pedestrian crossing. But we are not planning on adding a bunch of stop signs all along the project, no.
Okay. After the Paint the Streets Festival, the yield to pedestrian signs were removed from the middle of the streets and moved to the sides. The average mile per hour of people traveling Lake and Lucerne has to be multiples of 25. Any plans to help slow things down a little for the sake of safety?
I think they're referring to those signs that are drilled down in the middle of the road. I'm not sure who removed those. I was not aware of that.
That would probably be done from the city, maybe temporarily, right, just for the event. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. It comes to mind that maybe the city removed them. I don't see why FDOT would remove those signs, honestly. And I'm assuming the city will put them back. I can also, if this person asking this question emails me, I can put them in contact with the city, and let's try to find out if those are going back.
Okay. Also, can we reduce the through traffic to one lane in each direction?
Well, that would be a different type of project, right? That would be a lane elimination project. For us to do that process is usually initiated by the cities. So the city would have to make the recommendation or the request to FDOT to then go ahead and do a traffic study. It's a process. It's not, let's just eliminate the lane and it happens just like that, right? We have to do traffic studies. It has been done in other areas, different downtowns, but this area in particular has not, the city has not requested that and has not been studied for a lane elimination project.
Okay, the next one is, what about signalized crossings?
Is that how the question reads, John?
Yeah,
Hear the question.
So Julie, that, once again, that's Matthew, and that's in reference to the between the train station and Dixie Highway, along with the stop signs. He was also asking, what about signalized cross sections?
crossings.
Crossings,
Again,
sorry.
yeah, right. Imagine adding more signals along Lake and Lucerne, right? I'm not sure we can just go ahead and do that. Again, that would have to be done through a study through our traffic operations office. We have never heard of this request from the city or the county or anyone to start adding signals. But if this person knows of a specific crossing, a specific incident, a specific area that they always use and they always see something happening, please send me an email or call me and explain to me exactly what you're seeing. And then we can work on that specific issue that you're having. But as of today, no, we're not adding signalized crossings along that area.
Okay, and he just replied saying, please do a study to calm the traffic, especially B Street and Lake Ave.
Well, I'll give you good news about that area, right? There's another project that will be coming through that area, that roundabout between B. It goes from around B to through the roundabout and then west of the roundabout to slow people down. So that project is also before this one. Actually, they had the project meeting, public information meeting, if I remember correctly, about 2 months ago.
And this is a follow-up to the outdoor seating question. It says, so to clarify, outdoor restaurant seating will not be shut for entire project or long-term. I'm understanding that you are saying it will be minimally.
Yes, exactly. We are not planning on telling any business, oh, nobody can sit outside or anything like that. No. Like I said, we're gonna be working, the construction team will be working with all those businesses. Because remember, we're not impacting all the sidewalks everywhere along the project. It's just small pieces here and there, right? Not everybody is gonna be impacted. So they have to work with each business, because if you think about it, right, every business, they have different schedules too. So construction has to take that into consideration. What's the best time for what business to work, let's say, in front of them or something.
Okay, the next one is, can there be some state assistance to implement the golf cart transport like West Palm Beach has to help customers move around the construction zones? For instance, with handicapped and older customers, as businesses, we are struggling majorly to operate as it is the past 2 years. If we lose the draw to downtown because of construction, mess, and inconvenience.
I honestly don't think that's gonna happen. I'll go over that again. We're gonna be doing milling and resurfacing very late at night to like 5 or 6 in the morning. Also, for example, the work that's gonna be done during the day, there won't be any consecutive blocks being done at a time. We're gonna try to do it like one block and then jump a block and then the next one on the other street. So the impact for both vehicles and pedestrians would be minimal.
Okay. Can you give us more information about the project west of A Street?
I don't know much about it. I do know that the intent of that project is to slow people down. They're adding some treatments for that. And I do know they're coming before us. But if you email me, I can provide you with the contact information for that PM as well.
Okay, the next one is, how will this affect the Gulfstream Hotel project?
I don't think it will be affected. As I said, we're gonna be doing the work in phases and contacting every business to see what works for them. So when you say affect them, I don't think there will be any negative effects on any of the businesses. This is just a RRR report. A million resurfacing project, right? It's like a maintenance project. We're not having, huge impacts on these roadways.
I don't see any more comments. Does anybody have any more comments or wants to raise their hand? I see people turn their hands off. It looks like they typed everything in. Oh, someone, okay. Sam, we're gonna open up your mic. All right. Sam, you should be able to talk.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good. When you say night, what hours does that constitute?
I'm sorry, say that again, Sam?
When you say it's going to be work done at night, what hours does that constitute? You said up to 5 or 6 a.m., but how early might it begin?
Oh, I think we have it right now at 11 p.m., if I remember correctly.
Okay. And is that variable, or is that a hard commitment on your part?
It's not a hard commitment at this moment. This is why we do these meetings, right? To hear from you. So if you feel like 11 p.m. is not adequate, I'm open to know why, to hear you. So
I'm not a business owner. I would hope that you would consult with the business owners on the individual blocks about that. It's just a general question as to, what a driver or a person going downtown might expect. Are there situations where you would work earlier than 11 p.m.?
Not for milling and resurfacing, no. That's
Okay.
how we have it. I just checked my plans. It's 11 to 7 a.m. right now is what we have.
Okay, 11 to 7 a.m. Okay, good, thank you. You said there was a pending project on the big roundabout at A Street, is that correct?
Yes. That will come right before us, actually.
It's coming before you. Do you know what the designation for that project is?
What do you mean designation? What do you mean by designation?
Were I to look it up or attempt to look it up?
No, I really don't, Sam, but if you email me or call me, I can provide you with more information. I can give you the PM, the FM number, whatever you need. Thank
you, Ms. Jimenez. I absolutely will do that.
Okay.
Is there a place where a resident of the city might look and find all the projects that are impending on the city a little further out, or is that does that kind of public portal not exist?
It does exist. If you go to your flyer, the flyer that you received, you're gonna see it by county.
Okay.
There was a website on the flyer you received. If you go there, you're gonna see an FDOT website.
Okay.
And you can look around different counties and assuming, to whatever street you want to look at or whatever project you need to see.
Okay. I hope they're ready for a input of lots of people coming to look there. What do you know? What corners need handicap access adjustments?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Do you know which corners need handicapped access improvement? You said you would be working on some corners, curb improvements for handicapped access.
All of them, Sam. We redo basically everything that is not compliant.
Okay.
We redo it. So a lot of them we're redoing the ADA ramps or adjusting them,
And that will be the kind of 90-degree with the bumpy things type of improvement.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, that's what we call an ADA ramp. Correct.
Okay. And are there going to be any improvements on the traffic lights within the area that you are working on, or is that outside the RRR project?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Will
What?
there be any improvements or changes on the 2 traffic lights that are within your project? I believe it's K Street and Federal Highway.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be upgrading, besides the ADA ramps, right, that I mentioned before, we're gonna be upgrading the pedestrian signals.
Oh,
That,
the pedestrian signals. Okay.
Yes,
Will that be including the pedestrian signal at Dixie or no?
no, Dixie is a completely separate project
Got
that
it.
is gonna come before us. It's gonna redo the mast arms and the pedestrian signals. This
Okay.
project on those other signalized intersections like K and J is gonna be upgrading the ADA ramps, upgrading the pedestrian signals, and upgrading the lighting.
And will there be changes to the timing on the signals?
I don't believe so.
Okay, because the timing is a little bit strange sometimes. It occurs to me at the Federal Highway, and that might be a handicap access issue. I do not know.
Well, Sam, I'll tell you some information. If you ever have problems with the timing, just know that this is handled by Palm Beach County, not FDOT. We
Interesting.
install the signals, but the timing is controlled by the county.
Okay. And is there, do you consult on timing issues at all?
Yeah, of course, we work together. Yeah, absolutely. We do work
Because
together.
and the reason I asked about the Dixie signal is that the timing on that, I mean, that's a very difficult intersection to cross as a pedestrian.
But you're talking about Dixie?
Yeah, the Dixie and A, which you have said is not under your project. So
Right, it's not.
that's just why I was bringing it up about the signal there. Okay, let's see, pending project, and no consecutive blocks. Will Lucerne and Lake be under work at the same time?
When you say work, let's divide it up into two things, right? The night work,
Yes.
no. They're gonna do westbound and then they're gonna do eastbound.
Okay, I just asked because you said one block at a time. That was not clear to me whether it was a
Yeah.
block inclusive of both. So it's one segment of one of the streets, a block at a time.
Exactly.
Got it. And did I interrupt you? I think you were starting to say something.
No, I was gonna tell you that it's two different types of work, right? The nighttime, which is milling and resurfacing, right? That usually is longer segments, right? Because it's on
Right.
this milling and resurfacing in the middle of the night.
Right.
Now, when I said every other block or one block here, jump 2 blocks and then go to Lucerne, go to Lake, is the pedestrian, the sidewalk repairs that we're doing, the ADA ramps that we're doing. Those small areas that we're fixing, they're gonna be during the day, but they're not gonna be like 2-3 blocks consecutive, no.
So the corners will be done during the day.
Yes.
Okay. Will you be putting in, and we just had some of this at 12th Avenue South, those wonderful little reflectors that bump the heck out of the drivers? Will you be putting those in for the bike lane, for this bike lane separation? Is that optional?
I don't know. Are you talking about the RPMs, the ones we install on the roadway? I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
But after the striping, they usually put in the little things that are glued down by Miracle Glue. And
Yes, they are part of the project, yes.
And you're going to put in a lot of them on the bike lane, right?
I wouldn't say a lot. I
Okay.
would say we're gonna follow our standards. No, I wouldn't say a lot.
Does the city have input on that? Do citizens have input on that?
Of
Because
course.
we have a large biking community, and I'm guessing we don't have room for those beautiful hedgehogs that are in some places. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
They are little things that look like a possum has half sunk into a piece of roadway, and they are used for bike lane separation. They have them in West Palm. They have them in West Palm on Federal going south.
Yeah, I think I have an idea what you're talking about, Sam. The issue here on these particular roadways is the right of way, right?
Okay.
They're super tight.
You don't have much room.
No, we don't.
Got it. Are there any other safety features which you do have room for in terms of the bike lane, which might not be in the plan, but might be something which if the city asks for it, you could put in? Like it's not there, but you've seen other cities do it?
What are you talking about specifically? I mean, Sam, like I said, this is why we do these meetings, to take
Right.
input from the citizens, the county, the city. So I'm open to suggestions. I'm not saying that whatever you suggest will be included, but we are open to suggestions, and this is why we're having the meeting. If you email me and email the city, and we can all discuss what you're referring to, and it's doable.
Okay.
All
right. Yeah, no, I was just asking because you've been doing this a lot longer than I have, so you might have some. I will certainly put something together, gather some information to get something to you. Are there any adjustments being considered for the on the J Street traffic signal at J and Lucerne?
No, signal is remaining as is. The mast arms, you mean, the actual signal?
Yeah, the mast arms or the any of the other crossing features there.
No, we are redoing the ramps. Like I said, we are readjusting the crosswalks because the thing is that today a lot of those 88 ramps are not compliant. If you look at them, they're tiny. So they're gonna become a little bigger and separated from one from the other, right? To the two approaches. And then you're gonna see, of course, the new pavement, the new crosswalk painting. And this is in general, right? But no, we're not replacing the mast arms.
And what is your operational area? You're going to have, trucks and stuff that or equipment or material that stay downtown. Do you have a plan where to stage from?
Not yet. That is going to come during the 90% plans. We meet with construction, the Office of Construction, and they are the ones in charge of coming up with a staging area if necessary.
And will that be brought before the public as to where that's going to be for public input or feedback?
Usually we don't do that, but if you're interested, we can let you know what has been chosen to if any, staging area. I mean, we can let you know if you want to. Yeah.
And some of the things that people have asked for in this project are things that are outside the scope of the RRR project, which is, a discovery for citizens. Is there any place that citizens can go to get a general idea of the different kinds of projects that FDOT does, and that so we can be better informed as to what questions to ask and what things to request or demand with different projects? Have you got a YouTube video explaining your FDOT process?
I'm not sure we have that just summarized like that, Sam, because gosh, it's a very broad, it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
I can tell you that most of the projects that you see around are milling and resurfacing projects, right? Because we are in these urban areas where there's no much reconstruction or addition of lanes that we can do, right?
Yeah.
So most of them are milling and resurfacing projects, which of course we do add other items, right? Like I told you, now we're adding the upgrades to the lighting, to the signal pads. If there's a safety issue, we address it. If there's an issue with the structure, with a mast arm, we do replace it. It really varies project by project,
Right. But
to answer your question, I'm not sure I have that available at the moment. If you add it to your email, I can dig around and ask others in the department, and maybe we can send you some of that information of the different types of projects that we do.
All right.
Real quick, we have several more questions questions that we
thank you.
have in the
I'm
chat?
done. I'm done.
Okay. All right, thank you, Sam. So we got, let's see here. This is kind of a confirmation asking, so there will be no sewer line work.
No, we don't do sewer line work unless the city, that's owned by the city.
And the next one is, will you be adding bike lanes or shared use markings? The current bike lane is unusable because it is in the door zone where the car doors open into the street.
Right, that's why it's going from 5 to 6 feet, getting a little wider because of that.
Also, we're doing the shared use lanes on there, right? The sharrows?
Yes.
Yes,
If you
okay.
go to the slides where we show the Lake Avenue typically is the one that shows the sharrows, right? There's no space for a bike lane. That would be Lake.
There it is. Yeah.
Right. And that's what we're proposing, adding the sharrows on one of the lanes. And then for Lucerne, we're gonna be making the bike lane a bit wider than it is today. Today's 5, it's gonna be 6.
The next one is, when sidewalks are blocked, will car traffic be diverted to accommodate reasonable pedestrian detours, not requiring pedestrians to cross the street as part of the detour?
Say that again, John?
When sidewalks are blocked, will car traffic be diverted to accommodate reasonable pedestrian detours, not requiring pedestrians to cross the street as part of the detour?
Well, it's gonna vary block by block again, right? In some instances, as you can see, the sidewalks are so wide that, for example, we might be able to block an area and pedestrians might be able to just walk around it, right? In some other instances where, let's say there's outside seating and we have to work on the rest of the area, you will have to cross the street, probably at the corner previous to that work zone.
Okay, it says, I'm very much in favor of the hedgehogs too. We want to reduce car lanes to make more room for proper bike lanes. So that's
Like
going back to, I think,
yeah,
the physical.
Yeah, those requests of eliminating lanes have to come from the city. So that's where you start. That's where you start the conversation with the city, and then we work with the cities to do the traffic studies and complete the process.
Yeah, and in this case, I think they're talking about the physical separated bicycle lanes, which I think we talked about, saying that there isn't room for that.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no room for that.
Is there a specific person in the city government you usually discuss traffic calming with?
I'm sorry, a person in the city that what?
You usually discuss traffic calming with?
Well, I have a couple of contacts from the city. I'm not sure if they're the ones to discuss that. We are open to discussing that. The roadway is already at a very low speed. So this may be an issue of law enforcement, maybe, right? We have tried that in different areas. Actually, we had a request for a piece of this segment around Gulfview about 2 years ago, and we sent the couple of troopers out there for a few days. But yeah, the roadway is already at a very slow, very low speed.
The next one is, can you put up temporary stop signs so pedestrians can safely cross where detours require them to do so?
No, we're not going to be installing temporary stop signs. The way that we do our plans and detours, or it addresses all of that, right? We don't need to start adding more signs because all we're doing is probably confusing people. You know, so many signs out there. The construction team will be using what we call LCDs, which are like barriers that will, you know, move pedestrians where they need to go. And they need to go to the crosswalk, right? So no, we're not gonna be installing temporary stop signs.
Okay, will landscaping or trees be upgraded or added as part of this project?
We are not adding trees. However, we are taking care of the ones that are out there. We're not eliminating any of them. We are working really hard with one of our landscape architects to save them all, and at the same time provide a safe path for pedestrians, because as you may know, some trees are causing some issues around the routes. So we will be taking care of that, but no new trees.
I don't see any more questions. Does anyone else have a question? Please enter it in the chat or raise your hand. Give everyone a moment. So just a comment here. It says cars are frequently going 45 miles per hour through Lake and Lucerne when they should be going 15. Any more questions? The comment says this is not an enforcement problem, it is a road design problem. Please fix the road.
We're working on it, John.
Okay, I don't see any more questions coming in. We'll hang on a few more moments. We got a few thank yous. Okay, Julie, I think that's it. We don't have any more comments.
All right, thank you, everybody. Again, you got my contact. If any further questions or comments, feel free to email me or call me.
Thank you.